Travel Michigan. I'm Dave Lorenz along with George Zimmerman, and we're going to next head up to the UP.
We are to Marquette, one of our favorite cities anywhere in the state, and we're talking to Kay Hebel, the executive director of the Marquette County History Museum, to talk about first the museum and then other things perhaps going on in the area. So Kay, for folks who haven't been there, just give us the kind of brief description of what you've got going as far as the museum.
Well, first I'd just like to correct the name change. We've rebranded ourselves now, and we're the Marquette Regional History Center.
Oh, yes, you are. Now I see that.
Yes, and we've just opened a brand new state-of-the-art facility here in Marquette this last year. So we've got a lot going on this spring. So I'd love to tell you a little bit about what's happening here.
Sure, please do.
We've just opened our brand new historic canoe exhibit. We've been working with the National Wooden Canoe Heritage Association, and so we've had their members bring in 12 really outstanding examples of early wooden canoes, canvas canoes, and birch bark canoes. So that's really thrilling, and we've got all kinds of programming related around that. Next week, all week long, we're building a birch bark canoe here in our gathering hall. And then on that Saturday, the 23rd, we're offering Voyager Days when we've got Native American, that's the 26th, the Native American craftsmen are going to be here, and we'll be reenacting fur trade events. And so it promises to be a really nice day on that Saturday.
Yep. And so the canoes that you've got for the exhibit, so how old are they? What era are they from?
Well, of course, our birch bark canoes date before, the turn of the century, and a couple of the wooden canoes are from 1880, 1890.
Wow.
Really beautiful examples. And when you put them in an exhibit gallery, they actually become works of art.
Right. And so these are not recreations; they're actually
they are the real thing.
And so, how did they survive this? Where were they? I mean, that they are still around.
Well, the interesting thing is that, and we had found one. I have a home on a lake, and one of my neighbors had one in their boathouse, and they were just going to get rid of it. And so I happen to know some people who are canoe collectors and passed it on to them. So that's kind of how that always worked. They're found somewhere. But these collectors, one of them was kind enough to bring up 5 canoes from the Chicago area, and he just started as a hobby in 1998, and now he's got 60 canoes that he's Yeah, it's contagious.
Like to see his garage.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he has many of them.
Yes. And his cars are sitting outside somewhere.
That's probably true, yeah.
Kay, is part of that exhibit, do you actually go into the importance of the fur trade and how it was so, important not only to the region but to the world?
Absolutely, and also to the Native people. Mm-hmm. When those two worlds came together, they were forever changed from that moment on. And so we talk about what each world brought to the fur trade and what each world took away from that. And so in our area, we had an active fur trade going on here through the 1840s. So we were kind of late in terms of the fur trade era.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, there's certainly that, and that is a fascinating part of the state's history. But talk about other things you're also doing at the now the Marquette Regional History Center.
True. Yeah. Well, this summer we've got all during the month of June. We're featuring our organization publishes a children's book, and so we've got Dandelion Cottage events going on throughout the community. So if people are coming up here, there are plays, there are performance workshops and other things. So that's exciting. We've got bus tours of the area where we actually have role players who are situated around town. Someone might be Henry Ford in a Model A over on one of our historic districts, and the bus stops there, and they talk to Henry Ford, and there's a horse there as well, and they're saying, darn you, Henry Ford, you've changed everything up here. Now we have cars, and we can't have our horses on the street. And so we really do interpret our town and our history through actors and actresses, and that's going on through the month of July. We've got a bike tour doing the same kind of thing where people ride their bike along the shore of Lake Superior, and we do some interpretation along that area. So, we've got everything you can imagine. It's a long, fun-packed summer up here.
Well, yeah, and I think, Dave and I have spent a lot of time in Marquette doing various things, often hosting travel writers, for example, that kind of thing. But it's just such a beautiful place, and I would just encourage listeners who have not been there or not been there in a while to definitely get up there, because what a great summer destination.
Well, it absolutely is, and really what what we're trying to do is to tell people that not only is it a gorgeous place to come and hike and kayak and do all of those things, but there is really a rich and vibrant cultural history here. So there's more to us than just past people.
That's right. Where is the historical center? Is it in the old lighthouse?
No, we are actually took over an abandoned bus garage, which was really kind of an eyesore in the city of Marquette, and we completely did about a $5 million renovation of that facility. So we are right across from the historic courthouse in downtown Marquette, on Spring Street. So there are signs. People can't miss us. And it's really a wonderful new facility, state-of-the-art with touchscreen, interactive stations and all of that stuff. So we're really proud of what we've accomplished.
Well, speaking of the lighthouse, do you tie in with the, the maritime history there and
you bet.
Kind of talk about that at all?
You bet. Well, when you live in a small town, people are used to collaborating. That's really the only way that we've all survived this remote area far away from everything. If we didn't partner with each other, we wouldn't be able to accomplish what we accomplished. So really all the museums in this area work with one another, and we encourage people to go and visit the Maritime Museum, and they just opened yesterday for the summer season. So.
Well, George mentioned what a beautiful community it is, and I often think about the tremendous architecture and the kind of unique architecture of Marquette. Does the Historical Center, History Center, sorry.
Marquette Regional History Center.
History Center.
Don't get it right yet.
So eventually. Do you have any displays on the architecture?
Yes, we do. As a matter of fact, we had an architect, Charlton was his name, who was really one of the pioneers in using sandstone from this region in buildings throughout the Upper Peninsula. And so we talk about him in our exhibit gallery because that is sort of our trademark from this area, is the gorgeous red-colored sandstone. Sandstone from all parts of the Great Lakes comes in different colors, and ours is this kind of beautiful red-orange color from this area.
Yeah, and I'm sure you have great displays on the mining and lumber era.
Well, other museums do iron mining. I mean, we have the iron ore.
Oh, it's true. Yeah.
So we decided that we were kind of going to do the whole connecting link between the first footprints. We have a natural history gallery, and we talk about Lake Superior and the ecosystem in Beaver, and geology all the way through Paleo-Indians. We picked areas that really connected the dots that other museums weren't already talking about, and we of course have to mention all that because it's part of the storyline, but we have some really different perspectives on things that are unique to our museum. So.
Well, and Kay, I think the point you made earlier is a good one too, because I think a lot of people, when they think about going to the UP from downstate or wherever they're coming from, they may think of outdoor rec first, and that's kind of it. And the point you make is a good one. Is there is a lot of great history up there, and it's presented well.
Yes, we're really fortunate to have national parks and state parks that tell specific parts of that storyline. And most of it is related to mining, but there are some really compelling museums up here to go in and visit and experience that. So there's much, much more to the Upper Peninsula than just simply recreation. So
yeah, though it's spectacular as well.
It's truly spectacular, and this year we've had a real break in the weather, so everything is beautiful and green right now, although we could use a little rain. But
yep. Well, we've been talking to Kay Hebel, the executive director of the Marquette County. I almost did it again.
There you go.
The Marquette Regional History Center. And so be sure to check that out next time you're in the UP or in the Marquette area. Sounds like a great addition to the area there. We've got, for more information, we'll have a link, of course, at michigan.org, but also their website is marquettehistory.org. And that's, again, the Marquette Regional History Center. There, we said it right. And we also have events going on all over the state. And, Dave, I think you're going to take us on a little tour.
I will do that.
Yep.
Coming up Friday and Saturday is the Cristo Rey Fiesta in Lansing, the annual fiesta featuring authentic Mexican folkloric dancing, including Tejano and salsa merengue bands. A good time to be had by all, Friday through Sunday. Over in Pentwater, it's the cruise-in of classic cars. This is Saturday along the lakeshore of Lake Michigan in beautiful Pentwater. Don't miss that. Some other things happening. You can ride the Keweenaw weekend. They're going to have basically their celebration of the designation of the Copper Harbor Mountain Bike Trails as an epic ride. This is a big deal for mountain bikers, and you'll be able to enjoy this the Memorial Day weekend. Other events happening include the Feast of the St. Clair. This is in Pine Grove Park over in the Port Huron area. It's a festival bringing together over 650 historic reenactors of the era with all sights and sounds. This is like the late 1700s to the mid 1800s that they try to portray. And then another event we can recommend highly. I have done this. It's a great deal and a great deal of fun. The Mackinac Memorial Bridge Race coming up this coming Saturday. Starts in St. Ignace, ends in Mackinac City. 5-mile run. You will enjoy it. So don't miss it. This and more, of course, all the events can be found at Michigan.org. Speaking of the Mackinac area, we're going to head to Mackinac Island next to learn all about the wedding opportunities up there right here on Travel Michigan, where your trip begins at Michigan.org.